What's going on, everybody? You found Bottom Tier Collector, and I'm your host, The Bearded One. As always, thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting on my content. Anything you do is greatly appreciated. I really mean that every time I say it. I know it's getting kind of robotic, but I really do mean it. Um, I thought it would be fun to film a sort of state of the collection. I'm inspired by the YouTube watch community. I am a little bit of a watch nerd. Got my GX56 BB Casio G-Shock here. This is really my either my everyday carry watch or my work watch. It's a tank. Love this thing, but we're not a watch video, so I just wanted to bring that up to say the watch community, YouTube watch community, do these state of the collection videos. Um, well, they'll show just about everything in their collection that is not in a safe somewhere. I will note that it is easier to do a state of the collection video if you're a watch YouTuber than a comic book collector. Because, I mean, if you had a 20 watch collection and you're not buying just bargain watches, that is a huge collection. You could spend tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in like to amass a 20 watch collection. So it's easier to do that for the watch guys. However, I'm going to attempt to do this as a comic book collector. I have one short box that I've separated from my collection. I just crossed 1,800 issues. And I'm going to interject here and say, if I was going to sit here and pull out 1,800 issues, I don't care how nice you are in the community, I don't care how supportive you are, you are not going to watch somebody pull out 1,800 issues. And I can guarantee you, I collect a lot of weird, goofy, insignificant stuff nobody cares about. And some of that is going to be pulled today in this video. So I'm going to make it a little easier on myself and you guys, the viewers. I'm just going to select I'm going to select everything inside of my key box. It is a short box that is not even packed full. It is designed to be sort of insurance for me in case of a natural disaster. You know, my house floods, house fire burns down, a tornado barreling down towards my house, uh, whatever have you. Obviously, I would make sure my family is safe first. My wife and my son and my dog would be made safe first. And then, if I felt like I had time, I would run to the comic room, the future comic room, and grab this short box. I feel like this short box is roughly 60 to 75% of my entire 1,800 comic book collection. So I mean, just about everything. There are two books I can think of that are not in this short box that probably should be in the short box. But for whatever reason, they are with my Wolverine books, and I will just go ahead and mention those books. We'll just say they're honorable mentions. Wolverine 1, the Frank Miller, Chris Claremont Wolverine #1, that is worth probably $100 in a low to mid-grade raw right now. And then I also have the Wolverine 1 from Volume 2, which some people refer to as Volume 1 because they don't count that 4-issue mini as a full volume. So those books, those two Wolverine ones probably should be in here. Maybe Wolverine 88 should probably be in here. However, for whatever reason, it just gives me peace of mind knowing all my Wolverine books are together. So let's get into it. The state of the collection 2022. I don't know if I'm going to do this every year. But we're going to do it in 2022, and as this everything in this short box grows, or I cull some things, we will revisit this series at least annually. Okay, So first up, we have Wizard Comics, not Wizard Comics, Wizard Magazine, issue 31, covered by the main man's on the cover. It's exactly why I got it. I did enjoy the Simon Bisley, I'll try to say it normal, the Simon Bisley interview. I haven't read the Eric Larson interview yet, but love to sing, love the nostalgia here. And don't worry, I'm not going to flip through every single book. I'm just doing this because it's a magazine. I think it's cool to like go back and read the old price guides. A lot of people blame Wizard for crashing the market back in the 90s. I'll just leave that up to you and your thoughts on whether you think Wizard Magazine destroyed the comic book market. Next up, not a book that's new to the channel. The first appearance of Electric Blue Superman. I'm not going to say too much about it. I'll just keep it rolling. I will kindly lead you to my comic book psychology 101 or comic book purchasing 101 video I filmed a couple weeks ago. I explain all about how that book came into the collection in that video. Next up, we have Green Lantern 55, the Doug Mahnke. Is it Doug Mahnke? Did he do this? Yes. Now, I usually say Doug Mahnke, like the Pokemon Mankey. But I'm going to try to sound intelligent here and lose the Alabama accent. Mankey. Doug Mankey. Doug Mahnke. That's how I will pronounce it today. Beautiful cover. I bought this for $12, and I purposely kept it in the original poly bag with the price tag on it for a long time. It was a badge of honor, but it's finally time to get it in Mylar. It's not a 9.8. It got one spine tick. It's not color breaking, even though this is a white cover. I can tell it's not color breaking. And I have a corner ding on that same corner. But I could easily get a 9.0, 9.2, 9.4, 9. I could easily get a 9.6. I would say, but not even a 9.8 candidate. I've seen the damage. Next up, we have 52 week 23. This was a spec buy. First appearance of Black Adam's wife, Iris. Yeah, this was a little bit of a spec buy. However, it's going in the PC. I am a fan of the character Black Adam. He's not somebody I feel like I'm able to prioritize yet with my budget. I've still got other goals I plan on getting to. However, glad to have this in the PC. I'm going to try to speed up. I've got a lot of books. Next up, I'm going to remove... Well, we'll just keep it on there. No, let's take it off. The Amazing Spider-Man 798. This is the first appearance of Norman Osborn as the Green or the Red Goblin. I'm not sure which one that is. Also, the first appearance of Jenna, Bradley, and Karen P. Whatever that means. Next up, we've got X-Men 5, the first full cover appearance of Omega Red. I got rid of a lot of those X-Men books. I was collecting X-Men Volume 1 because I count Uncanny X-Men as its own volume. That's why I say Volume 1. And I was culling a lot of that out of the collection. And as I was doing that, I was finding myself getting more and more attached to the Jim Lee covers. There are certain issues that will stay in the PC forever, like issue 1, 2, and 4. And then I just said, you know what? I want all the Jim Lee covers for that first X-Men run. I don't want the entire series, but I do want those Jim Lee covers. Just something about Jim Lee on X-Men, specifically that volume, just really... I'm really feeling it. Next up, we got Mr. Miracle number 10. As you can see, I paid $6 for this. This is actually a duplicate. It needs to go in my store credit pile. I'm probably just going to put it over here as we speak. In the old store credit pile, I got to call that out of the collection. Next up, we have, I think this is first appearance of Magpie, might be second appearance of Magpie. Batman 401. Minor key, and now we're getting into the books I'm setting aside for my 4-year-old son. And so next up I have Batman. I don't know if it's Batman The New Adventures or just Batman, but it's Batman 408 shoddy copy. I mean, look at all that. This is a minor key. I think it's either first appearance of Jason Todd or the origin of Jason Todd. There's some kind of minor key with Batman 408. So yeah, in the collection because I am setting it aside for little man. Next up, we have Batman 10 Nights of the Beast 417. Jim Starlin cover. That's why it made the box here. Next up, we have Batman 450. This is some kind of a minorly valuable Joker cover. There's Joker right there. This is a first appearance of like a Z-list villain, Batman 486. Yeah, my son likes Batman. He's one of the first characters my son recognized and was able to pronounce and know who he is without having to be told. So I'm setting aside the Batman stuff for him. Here we are, the infamous Batman 497. This is the second print or second edition. We didn't really do cover A, cover B's, and all that stuff. Bane breaks the bat. I might keep 497, or I'll give little man this, and I'll just hunt down the first print for myself. And last up for, I might keep this one too because I love this character. Last up for the books, the random books I'm setting aside for little man, Batman 500. I believe this is when Azrael takes down Bane. Somehow Bane overcomes that, and then the real Bruce Wayne has to like come back and beat Bane. I think that's how that works. Okay, next up we are getting into the autographed books. All of these except one book have been autographed. And I will mention who autographed them. I talked about this book recently, so this is a familiar face for those of you who have been subscribed for a couple of weeks. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1, Issue 7, The Origin of the Turtles. And then I got it signed by Kevin Eastman. He was at my local convention. Jim Starlin was there as well, but I had to get something signed by Kevin Eastman. I talked about this book and my experience in my Huntsville Comic Con, and I cannot say that darn title for that convention. The Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. Man, that's a mouthful. I talked about Kevin Eastman and my experience with Kevin Eastman in that video, in that series. So if I would kindly lead you to that vlog series, that would be great. And I'm just going to leave it at that and keep it moving. Next up, the only book that I bought pre-autographed, Total Impulse Buy. I talked about this book again in the comic books Purchasing Psychology 101. I can't remember the title word for word off the top of my head, but I'll kindly lead you over to that video. I talked a lot about this book. It was signed by Matt Kent, and it was just an impulse buy. That's all I want to say in this video about this book. Next up, I have Aquaman number 4, signed by Peter David. Where is the autograph? There's the autograph. There it is. Peter David signed it. Probably one of the worst books ever to get signed by Peter David, but Lobo's my GOAT. He's what I care about, most of all in comics. So it was an honor to have Peter David put his John Hancock on Aquaman 4 for me. Next up we have, man, this is a crispy copy. Crispy copy. Not a 9.8 candidate, but it is crispy. Deathstroke number 1, signed by Marv Wolfman. I'm kind of falling out of love with Deathstroke. I used to be a Deathstroke mark, wanted all of his ongoing series collected and completed. I can't decide if that's what I want to do anymore. I'm not really dealing with my Deathstroke portion of the collection right now. It's just kind of a wait and see for me right now. I believe I talked a lot about my feelings about Deathstroke in the last completed run video I made, so I'm just going to leave it here. This would not be one of the books I would move, I will tell you that. I wish I had a new Teen Titans number 2 to get signed, but this is the next best thing in my opinion. I'm going to pull out all 4 of these books at once. Because they're all the same issue, just different covers, and they were all signed by the same person. X-Men 1, signed by Chris Claremont. He, again, came to my local convention. Same convention that Kevin Eastman went to, just not the same year. And there's all 4 of these covers. They're all pretty crispy books. Purchased them all for like $1 really before they reached about $5. Chris Claremont was a humble guy. I'm hoping to one day. I saw one time on eBay there was a picture frame made for 4 comics to be side by side. I should have bought it then because I haven't seen it on eBay since. But that's kind of my goal with those books, is to slide them in one of those picture frames where I can have them side by side, and you could see like the entire I don't really know what the correct term would be, the connecting covers picture. Next up is the first book I ever got autographed, All-Star Western number 1. Unfortunately, I was a scrub and signed the second print. I don't get it into this printing is rare. I just want first print cover A, and at the time I didn't care. I wish I had. I believe I spoke on this in a past video, so I don't want to say too much. But yeah, Jimmy Palmiotti, the artist, autographed it, and he even doodled right there. Another new move, the Sharpie. I put it back in the bag not too long after he autographed it and smeared some of the Sharpie. So that sucked. Painful lesson to learn, but the lesson is learned. As you can see, have seen, and will see, none of the other books have been smeared. Next up, we got another new one. Another like second print, third print, fourth print. I don't know. Magneto number 1, signed by Colin Bunn. It looks fantastic in person with that gold Sharpie. Love Magneto. Love this book. I love the image. This was a great, fantastic run. An all-time run. Probably never get it. I'll never get rid of it. If I do, I'll just turn around and buy the trades and have it in trade. Met Colin Bunn, but I will talk about that when we show some additional books later on. Next up, we have Justice League United number 2. New 52 Lobo right here. Obviously, why I purchased this book. Where is the autograph? The autograph is right here. In silver Sharpie right here, Mike McCone. This is not the book I should have gotten signed. I like the cover, don't get me wrong. But I had other classic Lobo books that Mike McCone had already been a part of. And I didn't even know it. You got to read your books, guys. You got to read your books. If I had read these books prior, I would have known that. If I had... Yeah, I'm embarrassed. That was another life lesson I had to learn. Understand the person understand the career and the person who's signing your books, because you can get the most for your money, and you don't even have to be a flipper to have that mindset. You can get the most for your money if you understand who's autographing your books. And I did not understand who Mike McCone was at the time. Even got him to sketch New 52 Lobo, and he had done, I mean, he was there with Lobo in the 80s on Legion. So yeah, missed there, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, so these are the same book, just different covers. So I'll show these off at the same time. Here's Lobo #1 from the New 52, and then here's the 1 in 25 incentive variant, both signed by the writer Cullen Bunn, just like that Magneto book. And I'll just hold this book up while I talk. Met Cullen Bunn at Memphis Comic Expo several years ago. This book had just been canceled, I believe, so around 2016, 2017. Great guy. Called me out by my name, said at the time, I still have the account open. I still have access to the account. It's a Tumblr account, a fan page that I have for Lobo. It is basically dead. I mean, I will go on to that account and occasionally fiddle with it, and then I'll leave it alone for 6 months. So I don't really say that the fan page is alive and kicking. But yeah, at the time I was serious about my fan page. I was reviewing these books, and Cullen Bunn said he read my review on Tumblr. So that's really cool. Knew me by name, and we established a little bit of a rapport at the time. I'm not friends with the guy. Our rapport has kind of disintegrated since he left Marvel and DC for the most part. But that's just a fun, memorable little chunk of my collecting history, is meeting the guy who really was my favorite writer at the time. The last book I have gotten signed by Cullen Bunn was Sinestro 1. Fantastic cover, and not a new move this time. It is the first print, first edition. Let's see if we can find his autograph. I believe, where is it at? Can't find it on camera. Oh, wow, this thing blends in great. You can't even see it hardly. There it is. You can see the CLLBUNN. Yeah. I'm glad he chose gold, even though it blends in really well. And then my final autographed book, Hip Hop Family Tree #1. I believe this is DJ Kool Herc here on the front. I got it signed and personalized by Ed Piskor. Ed Piskor, 2016. For Jason. I need to collect more of the singles. I have the first trade paperback and the giant, oversized, gaudy edition. But yeah, it's cool that I have at least the #1 signed. I'd like to get something with my favorite rapper's Method Man, and if he has any covers with Method Man on the cover, I would love to get that signed by Ed Piskor. So these 3 books are from the same volume. None of these books are autographed, so I'm gonna run through these real quick. Not gonna talk about moments and stuff. So Mr. Miracle 1, first app of Mr. Miracle, not a facsimile. We have Mr. Miracle 2, first appearance of Granny Goodness. And then Mr. Miracle #4, the first appearance of Big Barda. All of these are the real McCoys. As you can see, 25 cents, 15 cents, 15 cents. I mean, there's no, these are not facsimiles. I'm not, well, I'm kind of flexing here. This whole video is a flex, but I'm not trying to be malicious with my flexing. I'm very blessed and lucky to be in this position to afford books like this. But they're not facsimiles. So these next two books, I'm going to show them together. This is a shoddy copy of Demon 1, First Etrigan. Real McCoy, not a facsimile. This one's in even worse condition. I don't want to show too much. This video, I believe, this book was in a haul video. Yeah, First Clarion Witch Boy, Demon 7. Okay, this one's autographed, so it needs to go in the autograph section. But it is a first appearance. This is the first appearance of Omega Man, Green Lantern, number 141, signed by Marv Wolfman. I got this at the same convention Marv Wolfman was at. I paid $6 for this and then promptly walked over to have it signed. I believe I talked about this book, so we're going to keep it moving. I talked about it in a different video, I think. Next up, we have New Teen Titans number 16, the first appearance of Captain Carrot, one of my favorite stupid, dumb, zealous characters. And there's the book right there. Captain Carrot is in the cover right here, so it's also first cover of Captain Carrot as well. No controversy there. Next up, we have DC Comics Presents number 52. This is the first appearance of Ambush Bug, another one of my favorite dumb, zealous characters. I believe I paid $5 for this. Super stoked. Super stoked to have it. Now, here we go. Here's the Grail. The Grailiest Grail. I can't do a good Donald Trump voice, but if I could, it would sound great when I say this is the Grailiest Graily book I've ever had in my collection. This will be one of the last books I ever get rid of. Crispy condition. Not a 9.8 candidate, but definitely high grade. This could be a 9.2, 9.4, in my opinion. Off-white pages, though. I think there's a little bit of tanning here. But yeah, let's turn it around. Omega Man number 3, signed by Marv Wolfman. He's not the creator of Lobo, I know. It's Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen. However, the previous 2 or 3 books ago, we discussed about how Marv Wolfman created the Omega Man, and so naturally he was the editor on this series. And anybody that has a name credit in this book is gonna get it signed as long as they're alive. I will not slab that book until everybody that's alive has signed it. Which I pretty much can guarantee that I'm never going to slide the book based on that rule. Next up, we have Legion of Superheroes 300. Another one of my favorite dumb, stupid keys. This is the first appearance of Garfield the Cat. Garfield the Cat is very sentimental to me. He was my gateway into comics. So I'm glad to have Garfield the Cat's first appearance in a comic book. Next up, we have a minor key here, Teen Titans 39. I talked about this book in the Purchasing Psychology book, so I won't speak too much on it. But yeah, last time Dick Grayson was seen in the Robin outfit. I love this cover. Next up, a character that I got into last year, and I'm just growing very fond of, Booster Gold. Number 1, the first appearance of Booster Gold. It is a goal of mine to collect the Justice League International roster keys. I'm probably not ever going to be able to afford a first Martian Manhunter, but I'm going to try and get everybody else outside of that. Next up, we have first Captain Atom at DC. So he was originally it's either Charlatan or Charlton. I don't know how to pronounce it, but DC purchased Charlton somewhere in the 70s or 80s. And this, to my knowledge, is the first time he appeared in a DC comic book. And speaking of Justice League International, I have the first appearance of the Justice League International Legends number 6. Next up, we have a book that I feel like should be going up in value. The actor who portrayed this character should have won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, in my opinion. I was in tears watching his performance. Justice League number 1, the first appearance of Maxwell Lord. Pedro Pascal, I know he's a controversial figure. I just read, I don't know if it's a clickbait thing or not. I can't verify if it's true, but I read recently that Pascal has been fired from Mandalorian. Breaks my heart. I'm a big fan of the guy, but apparently he's controversial. So if you're gonna be controversial, you gotta swallow that pill and take your lumps, you know. Next up, we've got possibly the most valuable book in my collection, The Sandman, not an Essential Vertigo, not a facsimile. Darryl McCoy, Sandman number 1, first appearance of Morpheus, the Lord of Dreams. Love this book, and I have read this book, and it's fantastic. One of the greatest stories of all time. Next up, we have, depending on the day, my mood, my cell phone service, whether my back aches or not, Crazy Jane can be my favorite female in all of comics. Definitely in my top 2 favorite females in all of comics. This first appearance of Crazy Jane, the Doom Patrol 19. This is the issue Grant Morrison took over for Doom Patrol and sent it into the Copper Age. Next up, we have Sandman number 4, first appearance of Lucifer Morningstar. One of my favorite single issues of all time. No, I am not a Lucifer worshiper. If you happen to be one, I respect your right to religion. However, I am just a big fan of the story, and Lucifer does intrigue me, even though I don't worship Lucifer. The Doom Patrol 23. This is the first appearance of Red Jack, the serial killer type villain in Doom Patrol. He was in season 2 of Doom Patrol on HBO Max. I plan on completing the entire run, at least the Grant Morrison portion of the run. But for now, I'm just snatching up the keys. Next up, we have another Dumb Z-List first appearance, El Diablo number 1. This is the first appearance of Rafael Sandoval as El Diablo. Next up, this is the character. So I said Crazy Jane was top 2 favorite females in all of comics. Well, this is the other in the top 2, Death. Sandman number 8, first appearance of Death. Next up, we have New Mutants 87, but it is the not valuable at all second print gold cover. I hope to one day have a red cover. I like old Cable, even though I'm not like a super mark. Next up, we have first appearance of Hank Henshaw, The Adventures of Superman 466. And rounding out all my Doom Patrol keys, I have Doom Patrol 35, the first cameo appearance of one of my all-time favorite characters, Flex Mentallo. Flex Mentallo is the character I would most want to be like if I could be a superhero. I'd read up on Flex Mentallo. He has the coolest power set in all of comics, period. I just love the concept of Flex Mentallo. and what, like the whole muscle mystery thing. I think now I am in good standing with my wife. I love my wife, but I feel like my wife would love me just a little more if I had the power of muscle mystery. And if you've read any of that series or you've watched the Doom Patrol Season 2, you know what I'm talking about. Next up, we got to one of the trendy, hot books that everybody wants right now, X-Men #4. This was a $1 book when I bought it all those years ago because I was collecting this run when nobody cared about it. First appearance of Omega Red, by the way. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man 360, first cameo appearance of Carnage. Technically, the first appearance of Carnage. Paid a little bit for it. Paid $25 for it. Well, actually, I got it half off, so I paid $12.50 for it. Still paid more than I probably wanted to. Next up, we have the first cameo of the real Domino, X-Force #8. I gotta get this in a bag on board. Yeah, so the story is, I think I've talked about this before in another video, so I don't want to say too much, but the story behind this one is the first appearance of Deadpool is somebody is posing as Domino, so it is not the real Domino you are reading about in the first appearance of Deadpool. This is the first appearance of the real Domino. Next up, we got another, well, this ain't a trendy book anymore. This book has fallen off. It's being forgotten about. Amazing Spider-Man 361. I am also setting aside my son's favorite superhero. If you haven't watched my 4-year-old son's comic book collection video, his favorite superhero is Spider-Man. So I am also saving these Spider-Man keys for him to get him started collecting Amazing Spider-Man, if that is something he wishes to do. However, I am a Carnage fan, so not going to be mad if he doesn't want these books. Next up, this is a dollar bin purchase. It's even autographed. Shadow of the Bat #1, first appearance of Mr. Zsasz. There's the autograph. I cannot verify if it is a real, authentic autograph or not, but it does match the autograph right here in blue that you can barely see. Yeah, first appearance of Mr. Zsasz. And I'm not even a Batman fan, but when you see something like this in a dollar bin, you pick it up. You pick it up. That's what you do. Here we go. Getting into some... You older collectors out here don't know about this book. Wildcats 1, first appearance of the Wildcats. And I got this book for this guy right here. I'm a Grifter fan. Had to have first appearance of Grifter. It was a book people thought was going to pay for their kids' college 20 years ago. Next up, I got rid of this entire series. This is a crispy copy. Could be, it could be an A5. I'm seeing some spine ticks here, however. Sword of Azrael. First appearance of Azrael. Before he kicked Bane's butt. I did have the entire run, but I got rid of it. I might buy the run again. I don't know. I like Azrael, but I don't know if I like Azrael enough to have all the single issues. If they would collect the Azrael stuff in an omnibus or trade, I would probably prefer to go that route. Next up, we have Spawn #9. First appearance of Angela. So if you're an Angela fan and you're a Marvel fan and you're fairly new to comics, you're not going to find Angela's first appearance in the Marvel catalog. You're going to have to go to Image. This is where Angela comes from, the assassin of Asgardia. She was an assassin of Spawn's when she was in the Spawn book. Due to some sort of controversy between Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane, Neil Gaiman took the character with him and sold it to Marvel, I believe. Okay, these two are the same book. So I'm going to show them together. Superman Adventures 500. So we talked about the first appearance of Hank Henshaw earlier. Well, Hank Henshaw becomes Cyborg Superman. This is the first appearance of Cyborg Superman. And I have the polybag of the first Cyborg Superman. Next up, with my top 3 all-time favorite characters right here. Demon Annual 2, crispy copy here. Crispy book. I mean, I think I could get a 9.6 out of this. I don't want to say a 9.8, but it could be a 9.6 candidate. First appearance of Hitman, Etrigan. That's my holy trinity. Etrigan, Lobo, and Hitman. That's my holy trinity. That's my top 3. Next up, we have a book that spiked a little bit and is now cooled off and probably cold as ice. I held it through the entire spec cycle. Superboy 9, first appearance of King Shark. I like King Shark. King Shark's cool. I like this version of King Shark as opposed to the movie. I don't like the idea of him being a stupid slob, but yeah. King Shark, baby. Next up, we have Underworld #1, first appearance of Neron. DC needs more universe-threatening characters, and Neron is Neron. There we go. Neron is essentially Mephisto for DC, and one of the most underutilized characters in all of comics. I mean, he's a huge baddie for DC. He's literally your devil, and they don't really write much about Neron. But if they ever do, if they ever bring Neron back, guess who's got the first app, baby? And I found him for $1. Next up, okay. So I think a while back let me just pull it back out for a refresher. So we talked about this book, right? I got it wrong. I told you it was first Iris, whatever her name is. Isis. First Isis. That's actually the death of Isis. This is first Isis right here. Black Adam's wife. Again, a spec buy, but not anything I'm trying to sell in case Isis appears in the movie. Just when I say a spec buy, when I buy something for spec, it means that I'm getting it on a deal out ahead of any speculative value that it may accrue in the future. Next up, we have Green Lantern #25. First appearance of Atrocitus and Larfleeze and several other lanterns. I think this was the book that introduced the spectrum, the lantern, the emotional spectrum, all the red, the yellow, the blue, the indigo, the spectrum, the black. Next up, I have Justice League Dark #9, first appearance of the current iteration of Black Orchid. And there she is, right there behind the lovely Zatanna. I'm getting into Black Orchid. I want to read more about her. Neil Gaiman's first work at DC was a Black Orchid miniseries, and that kind of stemmed the interest. I still need to read that miniseries and see if I even like the character at all, but nevertheless, glad to have the first appearance of the current iteration of Black Orchid. Probably going to get rid of this book at some point. This is first appearance of this character. I don't have the notes on here. The spec isn't there. The character didn't blow up. I don't think Marvel's doing anything with her, but this character appeared in the Death of Wolverine, Aftermath spin-off series. Next up, we got Justice League 40, first appearance of Darkseid's daughter Grail. This could have some speculative value in the future. Not even for movies. I think Grail has a future in DC. These are not all three the same books, but they're all about the same character. So I'm just gonna spit them out. We got Teen Titans Special #1, first cameo of Crush, Lobo's daughter. We have Teen Titans 20. This is cover A. Again, this is first full appearance of Lobo's daughter Crush. And then we have the cover B. There she is on the cover. Teen Titans 20, cover B. First full appearance of Lobo's daughter Crush. You all know, if you've followed me for any amount of time, how I feel about Lobo, and gotta stay up to date on his legacy. Crush. I need the Jorge Jimenez prototype drawing variant to complete all. I think that'll complete all the covers that Crush has as her first appearance. Rounding out the major keys, the first apps section of the short box, and then we'll be speeding up into the #1s. If you've stayed with me this far, 46 minutes, God bless you. I've still got a ways to go, but it's a state of the collection video. I hope you understood this was going to take some time. I recently bought this year. This knocks out one of my books on my most wanted list. I purchased it for FMV, so about $50. But this is Hell Arisen 3, the first full appearance of Punchline. I don't care anything about Punchline. All I care about is Lobo is in this book, and the price point was in my way of completing Lobo's entire appearance history. So I just bit the bullet. I paid FMV $50. I've got it now. I don't have to worry about Hell Arisen 3 and any Punchline spec making this book more difficult for me to own in the future. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do to kind of help you guys out, to kind of speed up this video, I'm not going to talk so much. I've got these in a pile, and we're just going to run through them. So we got Howard the Duck #1, Jonah Hex #1, Moon Knight #1, and just a quick thing, I know I said I wouldn't talk, but I'm going to talk here. These are all #1 issues. I do collect #1s. Punisher #1, American Flag #1, Justice League Europe #1, The Savage Dragon #1, Deadpool miniseries #1. I believe this is first solo. Judge Dredd #1. That pile location wasn't working, just had to switch the pile up. Grifter #1. I believe this is first solo, could be wrong. Special Return of Donna Troy #1. Reign in Hell #1. Captain Atom #1. DC Universe presents Deadman #1. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe #1. Batman 66 #1. Teen Titans 23.2 or Deathstroke #1. Non-lenticular Uncanny X-Force #1. That is also first appearance of the black suit. Wolverine's black suit. Cryptozoic Man #1. Old Man Logan #1. Drax #1. Only bought that because I want CM Punk to sign it one day. All New Wolverine #1. All New Wolverine Blank Variants #1. Uncanny X-Men #1. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps #1. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe #1. Old Man Logan Volume 2 #1. Should have got this signed by Marv Wolfman. He was such a cheap charge. Raven #1. And to round out the state of the collection and the short box, Wolverine's Wastelanders Wolverine #1. I plan on following through with this series. I don't know if that's actually a run or just a one-shot, one-and-done issue or what have you. That'll do me. That's the state of the collection. That is roughly 60% to 75% of the monetary value of my entire collection. It seems like a flex, but it's not really. It's just meant to show you guys just what's in my collection. Just an idea of how I collect, the characters I enjoy, the characters I like, and I want to thank you for sticking with me for over 50 minutes. I get long-winded, I know. I'm sorry if I bored you to tears. You don't have to watch this video, but if you choose to watch this video and you made it all the way through, again, I want to thank you for supporting my channel. It really means a lot to me. I hope, again, I'm not flexing here. It seems like a flex, but it's not. I'm not bragging. It's just my collection, and I like sharing what I own. I'm very blessed to have some of the books I have in my collection, and I don't take that for granted. I did have to work hard to put myself in a place to be able to have this kind of collection. That'll be it for now. Until next time, guys.